about to leave. Already packing, come with me.
I'm Ben.
I'm Maz.
And we moved to Australia with our children in 2016.
We've set up a new life for ourselves here on the Sunshine Coast, and we film all about it, as well as giving you some tips and tricks in case you're looking at doing the same.
We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Bam Family.
This week we got a really interesting question from one of our viewers, and that was, how did moving to Australia affect our marriage? And to be honest, we've never done such a personal video, but
We are now.
we are. And we actually thought it was really interesting because I guess it's something that people don't really consider before they move to Australia. Anywho, so we thought we'd discuss that, and we're going to be really honest. So there's some things that we've not really discussed before, and we've not even discussed with family and friends, but we're going to tell you. So this is not a video for the trolls. Any trolls watching, go back under the bridge.
Yes.
Let's start with the background. So when we emigrated, Ben and I had been together for 4 years, and we were married for 1.
I already know.
Yeah, Ben knew. And then we made this massive jump. We had 2 young babies, and Lily was 10. I think at this stage when we moved, so this is 6 years ago, we were really happy. We had our the 2 younger ones, which is probably the biggest upheaval because they were still really little at that stage. Everything was pretty good, but in hindsight, this was a massive move.
It was. Very much.
And I think we probably underestimated how big a deal that was and how stressful that would be.
Yeah, because we thought, it's all sunshine and roses, moving to a new country, better weather, better living conditions. But it's not always as simple and as easy as that.
It pretty much went to pot as soon as we landed in Australia.
So.
Because we weren't very good with the jet lag. So for the first week, but we've had this before, when we get jet lag,
We seem to always get really bad jet lag when we go from England to Australia, but we're okay the other way around.
yeah, I mean, Ben's worse than me. He's rotten with jet lag.
And normally I'm so sweet.
Yeah, but he's not when he's got jet lag. He's rotten. So for the first week that we were here, it was really awful. We weren't getting on at all, were we? And
Definitely not.
We had to really bite our lip. But anyway, after that first week, we threw ourselves into everything, and you know, I was working, Ben was at home with the girls, and Lily started school. But it was really actually quite hard because we hadn't sold our house in the UK at this point, and so we didn't have a massive amount of cash. So there was a financial pressure on us, I guess, to sell our house in the UK.
For me, I felt like an only parent at that point because Maz was working all the time.
Yeah.
So we'd moved to this new country. I was stuck on the complex with the 2 girls and pretty much spending all my time on my own. And also Lily was going to a school which was quite a drive.
Yeah.
So it was like 40 minutes from where we...
It was a 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back.
Was it?
So it was a bit of a school run.
At that time it felt like a long run.
Yeah. Now it's like a doddle. Yeah, so we had certain pressures on us. We had the pressure of the really young children. We had the pressure of the financial pressure of our house not being sold back in the UK, and that dragged on. 5 or 6 months it took for our house to complete in the UK. So that was really, really stressful.
Yeah.
And we were worried that it was actually going to impact on the house that we were purchasing here because we needed the cash. So there was a lot of pressures on us, and we didn't really have good friends at this stage. And you know when you...
I would say good friends. We didn't have any friends.
Well, kind of acquaintances. We didn't really have the kind of friends you could go to at this point. So you know when you kind of like, I don't know, have a falling out with your partner, or like something irritates you, you can just go and vent to a friend. You're like, oh my god, they're doing my head in, I love them but they're driving me nuts. We didn't have anyone that we could vent to. As much as we loved each other and enjoyed each other's company, there were times where we needed to, you know, to be able to chat to other people and to be able to vent. We couldn't talk to our families because we didn't want to upset our families because we were so far away.
That we didn't want to think that we'd made the wrong decision as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got to say, to be honest, it was pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely for the first year.
Yeah,
so.
Because we really needed to rely on each other. Like, you know, we needed to, because we didn't have anyone else. When we had a problem, we needed to go to each other. But if we were the problem, then we literally had no one to go to. And so it was a little bit stressful.
Yes.
Probably, I think it got easier after 3 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're good. Like, it makes it sound like we had an awful relationship. We didn't. But there were just things that it did put a pressure and a strain on our relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot of niggly things.
Yeah, I think it was just that we didn't have anyone to go to. Like, we couldn't just chat it through with our mates or something like that, because we didn't have people like that who were close enough to us.
Yeah.
And I think there were extra stresses from the immigration that we wouldn't have had if we hadn't have immigrated.
Yeah, definitely. And then I started having doubts if we'd actually made the right decision, because I was missing the 2 girls back in the UK.
Yeah.
That, even now, it still plays a big thing on my mind. Especially when they're having like a bad day or something's happening that you feel like you need to be there for them. But yeah, I know they're fine.
So in answer to the question that we got during the week, yeah, it did have an impact on our marriage. And probably there's times where we did think, have we done the right thing? And yeah, it added extra stresses that we wouldn't have had if we hadn't have emigrated. But on a positive light, we're both really good at accepting our faults. So if we're really annoyed with each other or something like that, and we will calm down, we'll walk away, calm down, and then we come back together and we chat it through calmly. We're not a kind of shouty couple. And when we chat things through, we do genuinely listen to each other and take things on board. So if Ben says to me, you spoke really like in a not good way to me and that wasn't okay, I'd actually think about it and go, okay, that's actually fair enough. I was a little bit rude. I'm sorry about that. I genuinely didn't mean to be. So we're quite open to being at fault. We're not people who will get defensive when someone says we've done something wrong.
And we always make sure we do this away from the children as well, because at the end of the day it's between us two, not the kids.
Yeah, we've never wanted to add any stress to our children, so even if we're not having a great day together, this doesn't really happen anymore because obviously we've not got those stresses now.
And every day is a great day now.
Every day is a great day, isn't it, Ben?
Yes.
But yeah, like, we don't, if we're not happy with each other, then that's something that we don't like the kids to see. So we will always have our conversations away and we'll just kind of keep everything calm in front of our children. We don't want that kind of household where there's unpleasantness, and our kids should never know about that. So here we are putting it on YouTube. And by the way, if you've got some questions about this, we are actually happy to answer them if you want to drop them in the comments. Like, I feel like we've never really spoken about our relationship before on YouTube. And
I think we might ever do it again.
And we generally don't actually chat to family and friends about it either. We're quite private. No, we do. Stop. Like, we're generally quite private people when it comes to our relationship, and we kind of talk to each other. Like, we're pretty chill. But I kind of think that actually with regards to moving to Australia, that I don't think we were unusual to have stress on us. I don't think that it was, I can imagine a lot of couples go through the same, and like we're a really, you know, strong couple. Like we've always been in a really good place. So if it hit us a bit hard, then I can well imagine that it would hit most couples quite hard.
I've heard a lot of stories of people actually splitting up after moving here, and they literally go their separate ways because the stress and the burden of doing the big move, it does get to your relationship, especially if you're in a relationship that's not 100% already. If you're in, like, sometimes people think when they're in a troubled relationship, oh, we'll do this and it'll be a new fresh start, but
oh my gosh,
it's
no.
not. It's, you need to be 100% sure it's the right thing for you both,
and that you actually want to be together.
Yeah. Being together has helped if you're moving with someone.
Yeah, I think that if you were in a relationship that was not in a good place, then emigrating is, especially somewhere so far away, is probably not a good idea, because there will be even more stresses on your relationship. And I don't think that immigration would ever be a way to ease, well, it wouldn't be a way to ease any stresses on a relationship. It would make it 10 times worse.
Don't emigrate, just go on a holiday.
Yeah, if you're not in a good place in your relationship, probably think twice. There's probably a couple of things that we can kind of say, oh, do you know, that helped, or, you know, that's a thing to bear in mind. So I think that when you do emigrate and you're actually the only two people, you've only got yourselves, like you've got no one else, you've got to be aware that you're then kind of responsible for that other being. I'm just pointing at Ben because he's my other being. So he's away from his family and his whole support network. So as his wife, that's now completely on me to make sure that he's okay. You know, there's no one else that's nearby that can do that for him. So, and the same goes
vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Not just that I'm needed to be babied.
So I know that, you know, if we have a falling out or whatever, like, I actually need to look after his well-being. Like, you know, even if I'm cross or upset with him or whatever, I've still got to put his well-being first, because I know that he's got no one else. So that is quite a responsibility, and as he said, vice versa, that's quite a responsibility. So you do take on an extra responsibility for your spouse or your partner.
And the other best bit of advice that we can give you is just make some friends, because one, that takes you away from each other, so you're not in each other's pockets much. Also, it gives you someone that you can vent to, or someone else to help you with your troubles, not the same person that you're being quite irritated by.
Yeah, well, even not just being irritated by, but if you want to have a chat or tell someone about something, not necessarily anything to do with marriage, but if you just want to have a chat, then you're not reliant on that same person all the time.
Because that same person might not want to keep listening to the same story over and over again.
But you do though, don't you?
I do. But I'm one of those experienced husbands, so I can watch telly and listen to her and pick up all the best bits when she comes.
The best bits.
When she asks me, "Did you hear what I just said?" I go, "Yes."
But anywho, Yeah, we think that making friends is really important because then you're not reliant on that one person for every conversation, and when something cool happens, you're not just calling up the one person all the time. You've got, you know, other people that you can share with, and that makes you feel a million times better and takes a bit of that strain. But I kind of feel like this vlog has kind of
release some demons.
No.
Oh.
This vlog has made it sound a little bit like we don't get on or we don't like each other or whatever.
That's far from the truth.
Yeah, he really likes me.
Yeah. Yes.
He's very keen on my personality.
Yes. And she tells me that I do really like her.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's just really, really lucky that we did get on so well and that we could kind of see past those stresses and work, you know, kind of like work together. But we were lucky because we're able to do that. We always do accept our faults, and I think that if you didn't, then you might be in trouble.
Yeah. And we accept each other's faults as well.
Yeah.
Our own and each other's.
Because we know that we both want to be together, and we know that we actually both want the best for each other. So if we ever do anything wrong, we genuinely haven't meant to upset the other one or do something to hurt the other one. Sometimes these things just happen. But as long as you can hold your hands up and say, oh, I did that and I'm really sorry because I didn't actually mean to hurt you or harm you. So let's make it right. How do we make it right? Then you're okay. As long as you have the humility to accept that.
I find if you can laugh about your faults, then you're on a good path in life.
Yeah, and we laugh a lot.
Yeah, especially about Maz.
At ours and each other's faults.
Many has.
And
Anywho.
quirks. Ask your questions because we will chat, and you know we're quite happy to be relatively open. And if you're someone who has done the same as we have and you've got anything to add to this, or you know, a different perspective, then drop that in the comments as well, because there are people who will be looking at this and it will really help them.
Yeah, especially those people that are moving over or have moved over.
Or even people moving to another country, because this isn't really just relevant to Australia.
Yeah, it's relevant for anyone moving to another country, or even sometimes another part of a country.
Yeah, just moving away from friends and family and everything that's familiar to you. Please give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye. Now she's going to struggle to get up. You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Don't even turn your head.
Oh, sorry. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Mm.
Oh, that way.
We're just going to keep looking at each other. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
And I shall try and sit up because Maz told me to.
See how this marriage works. Maz says. Not Simon says, Maz says.
True.
Yeah. Anyhow, right.
Anywho.
We digress.
I think we need Anywho t-shirts.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of that for, yeah.
Sneak peek.
We probably shouldn't say that because then someone else will run off and do it.
Anywho.
Anywho.
Even just the air flights are enough. Being 24 hours that close to each other.
Oh, that wasn't a problem. It was the jet lag.
Okay.
Okay.
It's funny when your wife falls asleep on someone else. The whole flight. It's okay, he was bigger than me.
It's funny when your husband leaves you to do it.
Even funnier when your wife makes you wear a suit to try and get you bumped up a class.
And it doesn't work.
Yes.
And there you are.
And then goes to sleep on someone.
And there you are, sat in economy with your suit while your wife falls asleep on another man.
On a big Maori guy, yeah. Thinking, she deserved that.
Oh my god, it literally doesn't sound like we want to be married. Oh my god, I've got a really bad bite on my foot. I keep scratching it. Must stop scratching.
Must not.
Must stop. I think though there probably is a few things that we can advise,
but we're not marriage counsellors.
No, we're not. Oh my gosh, don't actually take our advice. We're a terrible couple. I'm joking.
We just look at each other like old senile people.
Yeah, oh my gosh, someone said that to us.
I know.
It's quite funny. Oh, I've got hair in my mouth.
She's more senile than me, though. Yes, that's why I do all this gardening and to keep a happy wife.
Good on ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywho.
So if you like this video, please give us a huge thumbs up and don't forget to hit that like button.
Or subscribe. Please give this, he does it wrong every time. Be sure to watch these awesome videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow us on our socials at the Bam Famalam in Australia.